Here we go.
Yes, people, what's going on? It's Eagle Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Today on Arsenal News Today, we're going to be talking about Declan Rice. We're going to be talking about Julian Timber. Of course, a Kylian Mbappe shout. What's going on? Is this Arsenal Football Club? And of course, Kesh was supposed to be joining us, but unfortunately, he's having some technical difficulties, so he will not be joining us today. But Dan Lawless will be in the building, West Ham fan. And I just want to show everyone you've been on a madness, my guy. You've been on an absolute madness. Like, the stuff people have been sending me, they're like, you have to show some of the stuff he's been saying. Bro, what were you doing on this stream here? What were you doing when you're imitating?
I know what this is going to be. I know what this is going to be.
Look at this. What is this?
We're the Arsenal. We're the Arsenal. We're the Arsenal.
What are you doing? Have you seen that one? And then there's this one.
Oh, Potts, mate.
Shout down Potts.
Honestly, like, I'm trying to bite my tongue as much as possible until this deal gets done, because I swear to God, if he ends up anywhere other than Arsenal, you are all finished.
So if
all finished, yeah. You Arsenal fans, including you, Potts. Oh, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Never said that though, did I?
Nice sauce.
I never said that. Never said it was a done deal.
Don't you dare. I've got receipts.
I said I've heard. I never said it.
Ago. Yeah,
I
exactly.
shared information with you, brother.
Sources. Yeah, where's your sauces? Yeah, barbecue, tomato, yeah, mustard, yeah. That's your sauces. Put your sauces in the bin, because look at it now. Every time I said, oh, no one seems to be coming in for him. No one else wants him. It's only us. I said, you just wait. Man City are coming. Man City are coming now. Man City, the big boys are here now. The big boys are here. And yeah, they slapped down the 7th. This is their first bid. Let's talk about your first bid. You're comparing them to your bid, right? Let's talk about your first bid. £60 million over 6 years plus 10 million in add-ons.
Wow.
Unrealistic
80,
add-ons. That was your first bid. That was your first bid. Second bid.
All I gotta say is big up Dan Potts. If you guys want to watch the rest of the stream, go check out Dan Potts' channel. Big up Dan Potts for Football 12th Man podcast. You're always on there. Big up him. Yeah. But there's a lot of receipts of you on TalkSport, on AFTV, on Twitter, bro. I would have thought you were a Tottenham fan the way you were coming at me, and that's an insult to you, because you guys have won more trophies than them lately. But what's happening? You were so confident that Man City come in, he's gonna go Man City. There's even a video of you on AFTV saying, why would he go to Arsenal over Man City? Big money move. They win everything, guarantees him trophies. Arsenal doesn't guarantee him nothing. I don't want this whole thing to be hostile, so I'm like, get it out the way first. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of context we're missing here. Right? He didn't go to Arsenal over Man City because they both bid the same and he chose Arsenal. Man City bid what they were willing to pay, and they were like, nah, he ain't worth any more than that. So they pulled out because they didn't want to pay more. I never said, you look at that whole thing, I never said he's going Man City. My whole thing with Potts was, and Arsenal fans, Arsenal were the only club in for him. So now Man City coming in for him has forced Arsenal. Arsenal shit themselves when Man City come in, and that's what's forced you to jack up the price. You was playing silly games with the prices. You know what I mean? Offering all sorts of ridiculous deals. As soon as Man City showed their face, it was like shit. 100
First
million.
of all, it wasn't ridiculous. You yourself remember in January, the price tag was anywhere between 80 mil to 100 mil. Then when you guys won the Conference League, it went from 100 mil to 120.
No, our price tag was they always said 100 to 120. Now, this thing about there's a lie going around that Arsenal fans are perpetuating that we agreed to sell Rice for 80 million to Arsenal.
Plus add-ons.
Yeah, that's not true. Oh, they went back on their word. That's not true. The price has always been the price. But at the end of the day, like Man City, it was very interesting that they obviously bid once and they've for a club that has that money, you know, you think they would just pay whatever, but they're very stringent. You know what I mean? They're like, no, he's not worth more than that. Like we're backing out. So that surprised me. I won't lie. It surprised me that there weren't a second bid from Man City after Arsenal's bid.
Yeah. I have to ask you, I've been seeing some crazy Man City West Ham loving. What is this?
Yeah, it goes back a while. Like, there's always been like a good relationship between our fan base, like going back. You know, they, you know, I think it was like we played them one of the last games of the season or something, and we'd survived, and they'd clapped us, and we'd clapped them when they won the league.
This is too far, though. This is too far.
This is whoever made this. Yeah,
this is too far.
But this is pure banter. This is banter. Like this,
bro. But people are taking this serious.
Of course, but look at it. How can anyone take this? Look at it. How can you take this serious? Look, he's stealing his. How can anyone take this serious? I've gone it and all sorts.
I'm kind of trolling.
That's pure banter. But
I'm kind of trolling. But the reality is, everyone was ridiculing Arsenal, and we got bantered for no reason. Like, really and truly, the whole time, we were the only ones that were willing to meet your valuation. We were the only ones that were serious to go in for him. And even though you bigged up Man City's breakdown of their deal, bro, they offered the same 90 million we offered, but you're bigging up their deal.
No, I was talking about your first deal. You didn't offer 90 million in your first deal. It was something like 60 million. Yeah, it was 75. So 60 million plus unrealistic add-ons paid over 6 years.
No. Our first deal was 75 mil. No, that's the second one. It was 65 plus add-ons. You're right, but yeah, it was a total of 80 million pounds. What you have to understand is, if we came to you the first deal with 100 million, we wouldn't have gotten the player. You would have said 120.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that the thing about that for me, it weren't just the price tag. It was the fact that like your payment structure, and everyone says, oh, that's how it works in football. Yeah, but 6 years, you're trying to pay that over 6 years. So you're effectively trying to pay us what, 12 million a season for Declan Rice. That's no good to us. Like, is the price. Yeah, if you came in straight up with 80 million or whatever, 65, 70 million is your first bid over realistic payment structure with realistic add-ons, not if we win the Champions League, like if we win a competition we've never won in our history, you get these bonuses. That was my problem. You know, it was too silly. So yeah, but look, at the end of the day, it was one of those things I always said, and you can ask Dan Potts this, Declan Rice will go to the highest bidder. I always said that. All this talk about, oh, if Man City come in, he'll reject them or reject this club. I always said he goes to the highest bidder. And I think this move, timing is everything in football. Timing is everything. Because if Declan Rice is up for sale last season, he doesn't go Arsenal. Let's be real.
I'll say this. There's one more person sent me something. They sent me this on Twitter. I don't know what this is. Let's watch it.
Like an absolute beast. So it's a no-brainer. So listen, their fans have been embarrassing. So I'm really hoping Man City do get him. Honestly, like, what channel was this? The that I've collected. It's been beautiful. We had Robbie on the channel. I made him say, tell us right now, are you getting Rice? And he said, yeah, we're getting him. So that the clips are ready. Mm-hmm. And just need Man City to just get out. You got caught in 4K, my guy. You got caught in 4K. I remember this. You got caught in 4K. That was LB. Yeah, do you know what that was about? Lee Gunner, man. That guy. I wanted to see him mudded so bad. So bad I wanted to see that guy mudded because he talks the loudest. He's been talking the most. And that was the big thing for me, like, because every day, yeah, it's going to happen. And, oh, man, that guy, he needs to be in the mud. No, but you got caught. You got caught right there. Yeah, someone pissed you off so bad that you didn't want him to come to Arsenal. Yeah, you were praying for Man City to sign him. Look at that. I'm still shocked. Lee, not Lee Gunner. Guna Lee. That's the guy. Guna Lee. I'm still shocked they caught you praying to join Man City. But yo, big up everyone. No, this whole stream is not going to be just bashing my guy. We're not going to do that. Listen, I'll take it. I give it. You take it. That's how it goes. That's the game is the game. But fair enough.
Nah, but you know what? We want to be we don't want to be hostile guests we don't want the guests to be hostile the whole time. Kesh is here to bring some balance. Kesh, how you doing, bro?
What's happening, bro?
Chilling,
Good.
man.
How's everyone? You right, yeah?
Everyone's blessed. Kesh, you haven't been on the channel in a while, but how you feeling, man? How you feeling about the Declan Rice deal? And did you have some questions for Dan? And before you go, people saying hit that like button, peeps. Big up Eagle and the panel. Yeah, 100%, man. Big up Kesh and my guy. And thank you to Never a Foul for noticing the volume. If the volume wasn't too loud, maybe I need to turn it up on Twitter. But thank you for that. Big up, Kesh. What are you saying?
Nah, man. Listen, this Rice thing, you know my idea or my take on that Rice. I'm not really his biggest of fans. Like, maybe it's what's it called? It's a style kind of thing. Like, you know, I love the way Partey plays, but I understand why the manager wants Rice in it. I get it. And for me, when I saw that they were saying it might not happen, I thought this whole Havertz deal makes no sense without Rice. So it's all come to plan, isn't it? It's all come to plan. Can't complain.
There you go. And you know what? There's a bunch of people who are asking questions on Twitter. I know you've probably seen it, Dan. There's a bunch of people asking questions. There's a bunch of people asking here. But if I'm not mistaken, when we made the comparisons to Caicedo, you said he's miles clear of Caicedo. Let me ask you a question. Now that he's at Arsenal, do you think he would get game time over Partey if Partey was fully fit and available and everything else? You would say he's better than Partey. You'd say he's up there with Rodri and Casemiro.
I mean, it's like that's a big league. Obviously, Rodri is world class. Like, and this is what I said to Guna Lee as well. I meant Guna Lee, not Lee Gunner. Guna Lee I've never said Rice is world class. I said he has the potential to be world class. He's not world class. Those players that you mentioned are world class. Now, I had that Partey Rice debate with Arsenal fans for years. Arsenal fans always said Partey is clear. I think they might change their tune if Partey is on his way out and Rice is at Arsenal, like what always happens. Same with Caicedo. You came here and said Caicedo over Rice. Now you've got Rice. Egal. What are you telling me?
Bro, I listened to what you said because I had you.
Okay, so you bought into it. That's what you're saying.
I had you on the stream April 16th. You convinced me.
I've convinced you.
And the main thing that you convinced me with was the leadership qualities and the fact that this is a man who's been in the Premier League for numerous years. It's not a situation where Caicedo's only really been there for 6 months at the time.
Yeah. Of course, he's got that. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's the thing. And this was the argument I was having with someone on my show.
I actually have the clip from that show if you want me to play it.
Okay, if you want to play it, yeah, play it.
This was it.
We don't hear. When was the last time you heard about Basuma? Who was better than Rice, who's better value, and everyone should go out and get.
Never heard of him since he went to Tottenham.
Exactly, and it's going to be the same thing like Caicedo. Right, Declan Rice, I'm telling you, is a top quality player. If he can't be considered world class now, Rice is just Guendouzi's quality. Newcastle fans, Sean Longstaff is a good player, and Rice is shit. Like, they always find these players that they want to say is better than Rice because and Rice is overrated. Caicedo is the latest flavor of the month now. He's the guy that's just burst onto the scene.
And I think that pretty much breaks it down. You're basically making the point that every year Declan Rice is just underrated to the point where now people are going to start saying he's overrated. That's what it is.
And I'm interested to see now if he continues to get the level of disrespect. Now he's at Arsenal, or now he's at Arsenal. Now he's amazing now, and now he's world class. Now
it's already started. Didn't you see Rance's video that I tweeted out?
No, I didn't.
Basically, he was perfect for Arsenal before we signed him. The moment we signed him, he's bang average. And what is he good at?
That's the narrative, isn't it? That's the narrative that I've seen. I've seen a lot of rivals being bitter, but it's weird because what they're going to say now is that does he move the needle? And for me, I don't see how you can look at a player like that. Like my problem with Rice is stylistic. I don't like him stylistically. I do think he's a quality player, but stylistically, he doesn't have certain things in his game that I've seen from the likes of Partey. Maybe that's something that Mikel Arteta will improve him on, like in terms of his breaking the lines and little things like that. I think they're two totally different players. You can get to that level, hopefully.
We'll have to wait and see. Big up my guy here, Steve, saying Guendouzi is one of his favorites, my favorites, 100%. We haven't really heard of Guendouzi too much since he left Arsenal. Like, he's doing well at Marseille last year, but this year didn't really hear too much about him. I'm not gonna lie. It's because he's no longer an Arsenal player.
West Ham's linked to him, innit?
Yeah, we are actually linked with him. Yeah, which would be hilarious if we got him, and then be like, yeah, no, I agree. Guendouzi is better than Rice.
You know what? I think this is a good segue. What is your replacement going to be for Declan Rice?
It's tough, man, because it was going to be Paulinho, but Fulham seem to be sticking to their 90 million price tag, which is basically we're not going to sell him, like, because we're 50 mil, I think, would be our limit. So for me,
it sucks when people stick to their price tag, isn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, if you want to pay that, you got to pay it, and that's the thing. And we ain't gonna pay that.
Can I ask you something? Yeah, do you feel that West Ham's kind of done themselves a bit dirty in terms of how they've put everything out in the public? So now when it comes to making their own signings, do you think it's going to work against you?
Facts.
No, but the thing is, in football, everything's public. Like, you've got Fabrizio and that fucking Arsenal fan, David Ornstein, and everyone. No,
I understand that there's always stuff that comes out, but I'm saying in terms of this deal, there's a lot I've seen come with this deal that I've not seen in a very long time when it comes to transfers. Like, this
basically, we're saying West Ham are basically being tattletales. Anything that happened, they're like, oh, we got to tell the media. It was literally the moment a bid goes in, and immediately when they decide that they're gonna reject it, they tell the media everything. They're like,
it was toxic, man. It was very toxic.
You got to play the game.
I've never seen it this like transparent. How much you guys were with the media. It was basically you had the media on the phone immediately after you reject a bid every time.
Well, allegedly, obviously, but yeah, look. I don't know if this will shoot us in the foot. Maybe other people do it, but other people have done that with us. Like, we was trying to sign from when we was trying to deal with Porto, and they was coming out and they called our owners the Dildo Brothers and all of this stuff. And yeah, like it was something else. So we'll see how it ends up going for us in the transfer window. Obviously, everyone's gonna know we have money. Like, everyone would have known we have money anyway. So now we got to look at people like Amrabat from Fiorentina. I think would be a good replacement. But really, we got to kind of Rice was doing the job of two midfielders because Souček was kind of anonymous. So we kind of need to replace two. We need to place Souček and Rice. Get someone that's more of a holding midfielder, and then get someone that's more attacking. And at Arsenal, Rice is going to have to figure out what the hell his role is going to be. Is he going to be full-on box-to-box midfielder? Is he going to be defensive? Or is he going to be focusing on the attacking side of his game? Like, what's his main responsibility going to be? Because it wasn't as clear at West Ham because of, we didn't have that good midfielders at the time.
I need to ask you something. I was on your Twitter and I seen something about Declan Rice. Is his legacy at West Ham somewhat affected by his move to Arsenal? Because I'm seeing people saying he's not a legend. We don't respect him because he moved to Arsenal. Is it that serious? Like,
yeah. Well, this was the thumbnail I made for our live show yesterday. Look, to me, and I said on the show, like, he's not a legend. One, you can't be a legend when you're still playing. Two, like, we throw around the word legend too much, like far, far too often. He's played 200 and something games for us now, 40 games or something. He could potentially spend longer at Arsenal than he has at West Ham. And he's left. So I don't think he's a legend. I don't think it puts a bad light on him or anything massively, but he's not a legend. But some people are upset because, like I said, Arsenal come out of nowhere. Like, he's been linked with a move away season after season after season, right? It's been like 3 years. Arsenal's names were never mentioned in for him, right? And obviously
until January.
Yeah, until January.
Well, to be fair, we did want him when he first came out on the scene at West Ham.
But you wanted him, but it was never realistic. Like, you were never.
It was nice to call him.
But it was as a centre back though. I think he was playing centre back, wasn't he?
Oh, what about this shout? Would you replace Rice with Onana from Everton?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm interested in. It was funny because we could have got him, like we tried to get him initially
We
ahead
could
of
have too.
Yeah, I remember.
for 35 million. And Nikki on my channel made a good point. It stings to sign someone for 50 million that you could have got for 35. But and I don't know, like if he's a bit of a mercenary. I don't know if he's got the right mindset. I don't know, man. I would have him.
I just want to say, everyone, the receipts are done. There's no more receipts. I could probably go find the Jared Bowen video, but there's no point. I was just telling him about the first time we ever met on stream. We were terrible. Arsenal were terrible them times. We were finishing 8th. We were like 12th. They were flying. They were trying to get top 4. And he's like, why would Jared Bowen go to Arsenal? It's a downgrade at this moment in time.
It was though.
At the time, we were bad. I wouldn't say it was a downgrade. I would just say we were bad. It's like
we wouldn't know that you were bad from the way you lot like had your chest out still in 8th. Like that's the thing, and that's the thing.
But the thing is, we don't disappear.
What do you mean you don't disappear?
Like other fan bases, when they're bad, they disappear, and you notice it.
No, but you don't disappear, but you guys act like you're not bad. Like you guys are present and your chest is still out. So when things are shit, it's like, yeah, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and that's what I'm hearing about next season. Now we've got all of this in place. We're gonna do this. We're good now. Do it. Okay, you've had a good season. That's my point. And this is the thing about the Rising. Like you had an excellence. Like you guys were brilliant. Like you guys have every right to enjoy it. Have every right to be happy with that season. But at the same time, before saying, "Oh, we're gonna win the Champions League, we're gonna win the league, whatever," okay, do it, achieve it, right? Achieve it. Let's see after, because it's one season. Because the thing is, we know what's gonna happen. You might have a bad. If you have a bad season next season, we're gonna hear, "Oh, it's part of the process. We got new players in. Process next season."
Expectations next season are to deliver.
Okay, if we don't deliver, if you don't win a trophy, what are you saying? You Arteta out?
It might not be Arteta out right away, but it's definitely heads are going to have to roll. Somebody's going to have to be held accountable. Someone's going to have to be held accountable. If we don't win,
Stan Kroenke, you're spending money, mate.
No, it's not Kroenke. It might have to be the manager. But at this moment in time, we don't know what the breakdown is.
Listen, as a fan, it would have to be the manager. But realistically, I don't see the club going down that road. But at the end of the day, we're getting the players that we want in very early as well. This is unprecedented coming from Arsenal. 17 days into the window, 3 signings done. Like, you've got to go and achieve something memorable that's going to live in the history of Arsenal. That you can't.
You want to know something? Objectively speaking, who had a better season, Arsenal or West Ham? West Ham will be remembered for winning a trophy this season. Arsenal will be remembered for finishing second. So based on their standards, based on that, they'll be remembered as having a better season. But reality is, Declan Rice doesn't make the move because West Ham had a better season. He makes the move because he sees the potential of going on to do bigger things at Arsenal.
It's the potential of building.
And that's not even an insult. I think what Gunnar Lee said to you guys was kind of like insulting, making fun of your club. But the reality is, what he just meant is, we're in the Champions League. We're supposed to be up here fighting for the major trophies, where West Ham have never been known as that club that is competing on all fronts in every major competition.
Yeah, my thing was, and I always said, you can go back, I said Arsenal is a step up. Problem is, like, you haven't been doing it season on season in recent years. This is your first season back in the Champions League. Like, for me, like, if I'm a player and I'm going to make that, this is my big move now, right? I need to, I mean, what he's taking is a gamble. He chose to take a gamble rather than taking something that's more short thing. Because, yeah, we can talk about potential. We can talk about projects. Those things aren't tangible. Right, they're not tangible things, because in football, we've seen it before. Everything could go wrong. Look at Chelsea, right? Chelsea, they were spending all of this money, going crazy, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, Chelsea! Like, look at these quality players they're signing. Look at this, look at that." And then it all went wrong. Now we can really analyze of the differences between Chelsea and Arsenal, but what I'm saying is, you're spending a lot of money on paper. Looks positive, but you have to go and do it now. Because,
but the thing,
yeah, go on.
What I would say, I totally agree with you. But from what I've seen last season, this is a team good enough to go on to win. Like, that, make no joke about it. Arsenal handed that title to Man City, bottled it, simple as. And when I look at this squad and look at the back end of last season, the manager got a few things wrong. Like, in terms of sticking with the Olden. Like, there's a lot of a fan base that blame Olden. I don't blame Olden, but I blame the manager
I
because
blame Arteta. Yeah,
you bring in a centre back and you didn't
you
make
don't
the most
trust
of it, and you seen the difference that came in the team once Kirill came in. So when you look at the squad, regardless of if he fails, I hope he does not fail next season. There's a very good squad there for the next manager to come in and work with, and that's all been part of the journey. Like, I know people make fun of the process thing, but the process has been real. The process has been real.
The process has to be over now. Like, we can't keep hearing that word because
you want to know something? There's levels to stages. We have gotten into a stage where we can't call it a rebuild anymore. We just have to deliver. And if we deliver, that's when we get into the next conversation. But before I bring in the next conversation, because
I have to quickly say this though, because I want one comparison actually that's a make, because you guys were really good, and hopefully next season you're really good. You're spending money to a lesser level. Look at West Ham, not last season, just gone obviously the season before when we finished 7th, but we got to a semi-final of the Europa League, right? So we were really good that season. Semi-final, come so close to winning that Europa League. Finished like 2 points off of top 6, and then we go in the summer, right?
But
and
that was David Moyes' fault because he focused on the Premier League.
I know that.
He should have focused only on the thing. Yeah. He did that this year. He learned.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, if you look at the season as a whole, you look at the team and you go semi-final of the Europa League and 7th place finish. That's like, okay, that's good. That's something to build on. In the summer, we spend nearly 200 million that next season, bringing quality players like Scamacca and Paqueta, Aguerd, all of that, right? And you think West Ham should get better now. West Ham should kick on and improve. What happened? We crumbled and in the relegation battle. So when you look at things,
you won a trophy. I think you forgot.
The end of it, yeah.
If it wasn't for the focus on the European competition, you wouldn't have been in a relegation battle. If you were not in Europe, you would be flying in the league.
Even in the season before, we was in a stronger European competition, right? It was in a stronger European competition, and we finished 7th. We was nowhere near. We was top 4 for a large portion of that season, right? Up until like February, we was 4th.
Because I think David Moyes learned from his mistakes and he put all his eggs in trying to win the trophy rather than focusing on the league. And that was what you should have done last season. In the business end of the season, you should have focused more on the trophy than the league because you were safe in the league. This year, he knew no matter what, you guys weren't going to get relegated, and he had a good enough squad to stay up.
There was a point. I think he tried to evolve and he struggled. There's a lot to go into now of what our problems were, but I think it just goes to show is like football is not a linear progression, right? You don't just go, right, okay, next season we're going to be better than last season, we're going to be better than last season, we're going to be better than last season. You have that and then you dip and then you try and
but because you won the trophy, you can categorically say it was a better season than the previous.
Oh yeah, of course. But still, like for me, and this is what my problem is, I still wanted Moyes to go, right? I still wanted Moyes out after the trophy because excellent job, doesn't deserve to get sacked, but for the long-term progression of the club, I have my concern because part of the reason, and you mentioned Rice obviously wanting to leave and things like that, players don't enjoy playing Moyes ball. Like, it's not fun to play. He's just not enjoyable. So now you go and get to play a more progressive style and it's more fun. That's what football's about.
You know what it is, West Ham. West Ham's evolved to a place where the sort of players they brought in, like you brought in a Lucas Paqueta, you brought in Fornells, and you look at their style and you think we can evolve into a team that plays beautiful football. And that's where you want to go to next. And you know that Moyes is not going to deliver that. That's what it is, isn't it?
And that's the problem. But the players, it's not a pull. It's not an attraction. Players, if they get their choice, they don't want to play that way, right?
Let me ask you a quick question, though. Because we are linked to selling a player to you. By the way, Declan Rice will be wearing the 41 shirt at Arsenal, and that deal is expected to be getting done on Monday. But there is also a potential £8 million move for Nuno Tavares to West Ham. Would you take him?
Hell no.
He's a good wing back. He's a good wing back. If you play 3
we don't even play wing back.
8 million. Really. 8 million.
No, man. That's garbage, man. That's a garbage transfer. Like, no. Like what? So we're gonna do you a favor now and give you another 8 million. No. Hell no. We'll pay you in over 10 years installments. Yeah, we'll do that. Right. You can keep
they changed it because of Todd Bowley to 5, but hey, so that's a no. We had this conversation last time. Would you take Eddie Nketiah or Balogun?
This, I had this conversation Friday on our show when Nicky was like, yeah, Nketiah, and I think he would do good, like, at a club like West Ham and that. But here's the problem again: David Moyes, right? And Nketiah is a player that needs service. He's more of a shit Aubameyang than a shit Lacazette, right? In terms of he's not going to do much else, right? Apart from feed off service. He's going to be up front on his own, isolated. Do you think he could fit in that system? Counter-attacking football, up front on your own, no players really around you. You got to hold up the ball. What do you guys think?
I think Eddie Nketiah is not a player that can survive when he's not given too many chances. He gets a lot of chances and he's very wasteful. So
yeah,
if you give him only 2 chances a game, most likely he's going to go on a bad goal drought.
Yeah. That's my worry. Is in the chances and everything you just said. So no, Balogun has potential, but it's a risk. 30 million. I think they were talking about something for Balogun. So he's a lot of potential there, but it's
just quickly going to say something. Cesc Fabregas retired. If you guys haven't heard, officially announced his retirement today. What a baller the guy is. He's won everything almost. He's won the World Cup, the Euros twice, the Premier League twice. Look at these accolades. Like, of course, as a West Ham fan, you probably don't like him because he played for Arsenal and Chelsea. But look at the accolades the man's had.
Yeah, of course.
He's done everything. And like, you just got to give him his credit where credit's due, man. I love Cesc Fabregas, one of my favorite Arsenal players growing up. I'm disappointed he went to Chelsea.
Why is the only picture of him in an Arsenal shot is the only one with him without any trophy or medals? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah,
I see trophy, medals. What's going on?
I think he was there for he was there,
but he was young. He probably didn't even pick up the trophy like that.
Yeah, he was there, but he was very young. So
he hasn't got the medal. I don't think.
He has a Premier League at Arsenal, but he was too young.
No, but he doesn't. I don't think that's on his record, is it? Like, that's not his.
I think it is. I think it is. 2 Premier Leagues. One of them is at Arsenal, no?
Is it?
Or are they both? One is Jose, one is Conte.
Yeah, I think he could have been both at Chelsea. Let me look at his honours. Yeah, because I swear he ain't got any. I think he's just got an FA Cup. Yeah, the FA Cup.
So he won one trophy with Arsenal.
Yeah, the 2004-05 FA Cup.
Unfortunately,
that's what he's got. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. We couldn't build a good enough team around him to win. It's unfortunate.
That's when you guys thought, like, that's the time. That's just post Invincible. So you thought, right, we'd kick on again. You would look at that time and go,
bro, wow, he was in the Champions League final. He was a big part of that.
Yeah. Runner up, yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, them times you're thinking, oh my God, we're only going to get better. So yeah. But would you say he was an Arsenal legend?
No, he's always going to be remembered. But like, really and truly, there is no real legend in this post 2004 era. There's no real club legend yet. Like, some people would try to put Ramsey as a club legend because he won so many cups. But for me, in order for you to be a club legend, you have to at least deliver one of the big boys, the league title or the Champions League. You can't be considered a club legend until you do one of those things.
Do you think Saka, if he stays at Arsenal, maybe wins a couple of FA Cups, but you don't win the league or Champions League, would he go down as a legend?
No, but you want to know something? If Mikel Arteta delivers a league title, he'll go down as a legend.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Saka, like, for Saka to come through your academy, even if he doesn't win a Premier League or a Champions League, but he has a great career, breaks personal records, wins maybe an FA Cup here or there. Maybe that gives him something.
Even the people with the highest standards agree with me. in a Man City fan saying, yeah, there's no Arsenal legends post era. Kesh, let me know if you're still here. I'm just going to say this quickly. Just mention this part quickly. Ethan Anwar, if you guys don't know, the youngest player to ever play in the Premier League, has officially been given a new contract by Arsenal, a professional contract, because up until now, he was too young to be given a professional contract. And both Chelsea and Manchester City were after him, and the youngster decided to stay at Arsenal. So I'm proud of him. And he's not made the same mistake that guys like Omari Hutchinson have made, leaving Arsenal last year to realize that Chelsea are going to only buy 15 new strikers. And he's never going to get an opportunity. But yeah, big up Ethan Noir. And of course, Pablo Mari and Ainsley Maitland-Niles officially left. You should pick up Ainsley. He's available as a free agent.
Yeah, do you know what? I actually would go in for him, especially on a free. That would be a player.
But the thing is, his ego won't allow him to play in the wing. He's a good wing back and a winger. I mean, fullback. But the issue is he wants to be a midfielder, and he's a championship midfielder at best.
Oh yeah, that was the problem you had with him. Yeah, because we would probably want him as a right back and then cover him right wing.
Is Kane a legend? I don't think Kane is a legend, guys. Until he wins something, you can't consider him a legend. You can consider him like maybe for Tottenham. But
no, but that's what I'm saying. He'd be a Tottenham.
He'd be a Tottenham legend. Still.
But can you consider him a Premier League legend without ever winning a Premier League?
A legend is a perception of their fan base, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends. A Premier League legend, if he breaks the Premier League record, right?
Steven Gerrard is a Premier League legend. He never won the Premier League, but he also did win other trophies. Harry Kane has not lifted anything.
No, it's true. It's true. But I think if he becomes the top scorer, Premier League scorer of all time, then you know you kind of have to consider him a Premier League.
He had a chance to become an England legend.
Is he not Tottenham's all-time goal scorer?
Yeah, he is.
He's going to be considered their legend.
Yeah. Listen, is Antonio a bigger legend than Harry Kane in the Premier League because he's got a trophy? We're talking trophies.
No.
Mikel Antonio's got the trophy, mate. He's got.
You know what?
He's got a bigger legacy in the game.
Let me just ask you one more question about Declan Rice before we move on. There was a question here from my guy, Le African Gunnar. How often does Declan Rice attempt long shots on goal?
Too often.
He's a hit and hope guy.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Are you worried about relegation
next season?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about relegation. I'm worried about mediocrity. I'm worried about like just having a really just uninteresting, uninspiring season. If we get it wrong, like it could either be brilliant or poor. Like anything else than back in that European race is a failure. Like we need to take this money, invest.
It's all going to depend on how you spend the money.
Finally,
sorry, got a new director.
Finally, guys, with Declan Rice coming in, Xhaka will be leaving. As soon as Declan Rice comes in, Xhaka will also be leaving. So you can expect that. The Timber deal is getting close. We're not going to really spend too much time on the Timber deal today, but I wanted to get onto this next story. And I know this story sounds ridiculous, and you guys are going to laugh.
Oh, no.
Arsenal are linked to Kylian Mbappe. I can already see you guys holding your heads, but the likelihood of it happening is ridiculous. Obviously, it's something that you guys are laughing at.
Oh God.
Yeah. I know people don't trust the source, but let me just say this. The reality is Arsenal are going to have a lot of money next season. And especially if we go on to do well this season, win the league, who's to say we can't go and get a Victor Osimhen or a Kylian Mbappe if we use basically our full transfer budget for that summer transfer window on one big name signing.
But he has to want to come. Like he has to want to join Arsenal. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like I was speaking to an Arsenal fan. I said this, an Arsenal fan that I know that I train with on Thursday. And I said, look, if he signs for Arsenal, I will come train in an Arsenal shirt. I will fully, if you sign him, I'll be there in an Arsenal shirt and we will train in an Arsenal shirt. So I just, that's madness.
It's a long shot. For me, it's a long shot.
You know what the odds are, Kesh?
I think it'll probably be low. But
50-1.
Listen, at the end of the day, I was reading what's it called? Him and Ferland Mendy's got the same agent. So he came out and said Madrid can't afford Mbappe currently. Like they're broke. So it will come down to Arsenal actually going on to winning things. First have to win things. Then you can put that at the table and say, listen, You've seen how the project's moving. You've seen that we're starting to become that elite club again. Would you like to come and join the journey? And from when you've got trophies there to present to him, you can have a conversation. But if you don't have a trophy coming in the next season, then you can't. He's not going to come.
Well, and that trophy has to be
A big trophy.
at least the Prem
At least,
or the UCL. Yeah, you can't show him no FA Cup or Carabao.
not.
Come
Of
on,
course not.
Killian.
Of course
But
not.
yeah, like that's for this season. If you want to sign him next season, yeah, like you said, you got to win that Premier League or that UCL this season. And
I
then
don't think money is the issue to getting him. I think, like you said, Arsenal we're in a position now where the squad is a very good squad that's been built. Can go up a level, but when you look at the signings that you'd want to be signing next summer, it'll probably be a Kvara from Napoli, an Osimhen from Napoli, or Mbappe. It's an elite striker that you need to go to the next stage of this team. You know what I'm saying? And from when you've got a trophy, I think you're always going to be in the conversation.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you guys what it's saying. So the rumor itself specifically states that Arsenal are considering 2024 as an opportunity to maybe pounce and get Kylian Mbappe. Now, Kylian Mbappe will be leaving as a free agent in 2024. The likelihood of us getting him on a free would be probably very unlikely, as there will be a lot of people after him as his contract will be running out. And his preferred place might be Real Madrid. Now, my question to you guys is, if we were to buy him, would make more sense than him leaving on a free? Because I don't think he's going to leave on a free and come to Arsenal. Out of all the clubs in the world, he would always make it clear that he wanted to go to Real Madrid. But hey, some people can dream, right? I think what's more realistic is what Kesh said. Go for a Victor Osimhen. Arsenal have never been known for getting the biggest player in world football. But hey.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's the thing. So he's not available on a free next season. So you'd have to sign him this season after already slapping down 200 mil so far. And then you're going to slap down how much for Mbappe? Like what, 200 mil, 108, whatever it's going to cost.
Bro, it's a pipe dream. But this is what
This
is what the rumor says. Arsenal are weighing up the option of a Mbappe move. Arsenal are reportedly considering a possibility of signing Kylian Mbappe if he leaves PSG on a free. Now, how they got this or where is the source reliable? They're not. But right now, that's the kind of stuff you want to hear. Declan Rice coming in is a great signing for us. And bro, this is the biggest signing we've made for me, in my opinion, since Ozil. And this is the biggest English signing we've had since Sol Campbell. So if we go and better at next year, think about it. We've not signed any English players of that stature in our club since Sol Campbell. Like Declan Rice, yes, he's played for West Ham, but this guy is the best player we've gotten Premier League proven in our club's history since Sol Campbell.
That's interesting. I'm trying to think of all the English players you've signed. Ben White, Ramsdale, obviously recent signings.
British record too, don't forget. British record too.
Yeah,
we've only recently started signing English players again.
Yeah. But it's still like Harry Kane. The only thing that could better Declan Rice is if Harry Kane came to Arsenal. That's the only other signing we can make that would be better.
That would be hilarious.
Hey, he's available on the free next year. Hey.
Bro, imagine Harry Kane does a Sol Campbell.
What would you rather, get Mbappe in or get Harry Kane, not just for his quality, but for the Sol Campbell vibe?
No, but bro, Harry Kane's almost 30. I would rather get Mbappe because we have him for 10 years.
Can you imagine if you got Kane and you won a big trophy with Kane?
Oh, man.
Imagine Kane holding the FA Cup in the Premier League at Arsenal.
Yeah. They would never live
that down.
No.
Bro, Tottenham to this day still calls Sol Campbell a snake. Imagine Harry Kane, one move would ruin his legacy. He can't do that. Imagine he comes to Arsenal and doesn't win. He can't do that. We have to win the league this year in order to entice him to come.
Yeah, exactly. Like this season, that's what I'm saying. Like for this season, you have to do it.
You have to
and
deliver.
Next season is the competition. I think it's going to be a lot.
Best Prem ever.
Yeah.
Going to be the best Prem ever, honestly. From what I've gauged from Twitter, I put it in the Terrace group chat, and I'm saying I'm excited for this season because what I've seen is all the top six are going at each other's neck. I've never seen this before in my life. I've seen Newcastle going at Man United fans. See Man United fans going at Arsenal. Listen,
I love how you casually swapped Tottenham out for Newcastle in that top 6.
Oh, you have to, man.
So casually, like it's true though. It's true. It's true.
It is true.
And Newcastle is going to be a problem, man. Liverpool, I think, will be back.
The only thing I feel sorry for Newcastle so far is that I felt, going off what they've done last season, I felt they feel like they would have gone and got all their top targets, but they've lost the likes of Maddison to Tottenham. They've lost Szoboszlai to Liverpool. They're missing out on all their targets, man.
I don't know, but they didn't even try. It didn't seem like they even tried to sign Maddison, because Maddison definitely would have.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, I think they did. You know what it is?
I'm not looking at Liverpool like
you know what it is.
Like that.
I think Maddison's outlined that he's got no interest. I think it's a bit like the Rice. That was his preferred choice. I think his preferred choice was to go to Tottenham.
Wait, then he's a failure of a person, man.
No. I think Newcastle didn't want to get into a bidding war with Tottenham. I'm not gonna lie.
A bidding war with Tottenham. When's Tottenham ever been in a bidding war?
Newcastle are basically like, if you are gonna make us fight for you, we're not gonna come for you. We basically want people to come to us. And
yeah, they have Champions League football. Like, you're choosing no Europe, right? Tottenham, no trophy winning Tottenham. I know Newcastle ain't won a trophy in like 60 years, but they've got.
But what about this? Declan Rice went for 105 million. You got people comparing Maddison, saying he's a better signing. You got people saying Mount is a better signing. You got people saying Kovacic is a better signing. Like,
Madison's a better signing than Havertz. Like, that's true. Then if you compare him to Havertz, it's better.
Yeah, but people are trying to compare him to Declan Rice. It's mad.
There's no logic behind it, because it's two totally different positions, two totally different needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that don't make sense.
Bro, Kesh, we gotta talk about this. Pepe might stay. You showed me that thing.
Oh my God! What?
I don't
you still got that?
Pepe might stay. Pepe said Arteta held. This is what Pepe had to say to French football when asked about Arteta. Crazy.
Arteta helped me in every way, on a tactical level, in terms of game intelligence, because his philosophy requires a lot of intelligence. He knew my style of play wasn't waiting in possession. It was cutting inside. It wasn't waiting out on the right. Before, I was a bit freer. I had to wait in my zone, and I wasn't like that before. These are parts of my game that he tried to improve. He always wanted to help me with all of that.
With that kind of statement coming out, does that sound like a player who's leaving, or does it sound like a player who's just trying to...
Listen, when you go on loan, you got to come back to your club. You know what I mean? He's just saying the obvious. Whether we get suitors or not, I don't know. Like, he had a decent season there, but it wasn't anything that kind of comes to mind where you think, yeah, a lot of clubs are going to be in for him. So you might be in a situation where he's there lingering about till the last day of the season, of the window.
Yeah, when's he gonna play? Like, what, early stages of the Carabao or something? Like, he ain't getting no game time.
He ain't getting no game time.
Oh, by the way, did you guys hear Sevilla's in financial trouble? They're trying to get rid of all their players.
Yeah, 90 mil.
Would you buy any of their players?
Probably their keeper.
Do Sevilla have any
They
players
got
you
Bono,
buy?
innit? They got Bono, probably their keeper. That centre back there that kind of looks like Saliba. He's not too bad.
Yeah. I need to go and have a look here because they've got some good players. Like,
they're trying to have.
You know who West Ham should go for?
El-Nesri.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
We've been linked with him for years, you know. Actually,
I'll know Ware. Who's that guy who always scores the goals?
Oh, Nelsie, that's a striker.
Yeah, he's a monster. He always scores.
We've been linked with him for like the past 2-3 years.
Oh, listen to this. This academy kid had Declan Rice's number, 41. They basically took the number from him. They're giving it to Declan Rice.
Wow, look at this poor kid, man. Look at this poor kid.
They gave him 40. He doesn't care. Anyways, this is gonna be done soon. Okay. This morning, my man tweeted a thing saying NBA morning. What does that mean? People are saying it's a cryptic message.
Oh, you guys love to look into everything. You overanalyze everything.
What did he tweet?
Bro, the rumor is the deal is done, though. The rumor is the deal is done.
Yeah, the deal is done.
NBA morning.
But I wouldn't read into that. NBA morning. What does that even mean?
Bro, I'll show you. You guys are gonna laugh. You know how we do. You know how when Odegaard celebrates and these guys celebrate, they start doing balling.
Oh my god!
He tweeted this out. He tweeted this out. I swear to God,
What
I'm
a
not
reach.
making this up.
What a
This
reach.
is what we do. We're bored. We start making conspiracy theories.
Oh god.
What a reach.
Anyways, that I found that funny. You know
That's
what the funniest one was? You know what the funniest one was? He put on his Instagram story a song with Gunna, and somebody posted the thing and said it's man, hilarious. I don't think that's the worst one. The worst one was I think
Isak.
Eddie was
Isak
flying.
one was the worst.
Eddie was flying to Spain for vacation, and we said he's coming back with a signing.
Yeah. Have you started stalking him yet? Like what you did with Gabriel and like.
Oh,
No, we don't need to stalk anybody. I think Declan Rice is done.
There's his car. His car's outside the Emirates. Look, his car.
No, it was Isaac. It was Isaac.
Isaac. Yeah, oh yeah, Isaac. Yeah. Oh look, his car's outside the Emirates. Oh, Pepe's plane. Oh look, he's right over the sea now. Here
the
he
cloud.
is.
The cloud.
Wow.
Oh my god,
hilarious. What else is there? I think that's it. There's not really much more. But quick question: what do you think about your West Ham ownership now? You must like them.
Look, I think like is a strong word. But I have to respect how David Sullivan has gone about this transfer. He stuck to his guns, no pun intended. But you know, he didn't bend, and he's still there. It's still going on now, and he's saying, "Look, we want this paid up in 18 months, and we ain't budging." And they're going over it now. I reckon they would get it done. So there's still a small percentage that it don't imagine it didn't happen because you guys didn't want to pay it in 18 months, and we won't move. Oh my god. I'm coming back on this channel if that happens because we're then gonna get the other receipts. But yeah, like for me,
the deal's gonna be done by Wednesday, bro.
All right. But I'm just saying that 1% chance, you never know.
The reason why it wasn't done by now is because I think everyone is trying to get the money in for the next physical year, not this year. Because you guys were trying to get everything sorted out before the 30th, right?
Yeah, we want as much money up front as we can get so then we can go and reinvest it. That's the thing. Like we need that because we need to have a big summer.
Are you guys having FFP issues? Because I see FFP issues.
I think we're on the watch list, so they're keeping an eye on us. So that's one thing we definitely have to consider.
You know how we escape the watch list? Our wages. Our wages are some of the best wage structures out of the top 6. We have cut our wage bill by so much by releasing those players on freeze.
It's creeping up again, though. Now it's creeping up because you've got
Saka,
Rice, Odegaard, Saliba now, Jesus.
We're still good. The percentage of our wages to our income at one point was below 50%.
I think this summer you're going to see that jump up with the new sign because you've got all of these new contracts that you've handed out, these big contracts.
But we also got rid of a lot of people still.
I think the difference is since
xhaka's getting replaced. Party's going to get replaced. This is what we're doing. Since
Richard Garlick came in, the way we structure our wage is very different to how we used to. Like with the likes of Aubameyang and Ozil, a lot of it is now bonus based. So everyone seems to put everything together, saying Saka's on 300 whatever. But at the end of the day, he has to meet those targets to get that.
Yeah, but then what are the targets? What's the targets? Like
we wouldn't have a clue what those targets are.
They have to be achievable. Otherwise, if it's like win the Premier League, then would a player sign that? Like really?
I don't think it'll be anything as outrageous as winning the Premier League, but I know it will be a lot based on what he's doing over the course of the season, whether it's GA or whatever. So he would have to repeat what he done last season to get some of his bonus, if you get what I'm saying. So it's incentive wise, and I can't really complain as long as the player is producing to get paid what he should be paid. Then no one ain't gonna complain.
Okay, so our total salary for our players at this moment in time, this was last season, going into this season now. I think Jesus was our highest paid player going into last season before anything was done. So we had 127 million in wages. For example, Chelsea had 212 million in wages. Liverpool have 134 million in wages. what do you call it? Manchester City have 184 million in wages, and then Manchester United have 213 million in wages. So when you really think about it, Arsenal has the lowest wages out of all those guys. Now
I think
Tottenham's
that's gone up now.
story.
Yeah.
Now Tottenham's
That's
a different
true.
story. But yeah, we're gonna definitely go up. But in the same breath, guys that are leaving, look at that. We have who? Pepe might be leaving, right? He's on 140. Partey might be leaving. He's on 200. You have Xhaka might be leaving. He's on 120. You got Kieran Tierney might be leaving. He's on 100. You know what I mean? So quickly and surely, you're seeing players just dropping off the list and filling it in with new players. And the wages for these guys are always going to be high. New incoming signings.
Well, the more you're up there now, like you're signing, the players that you're signing are going to be obviously on crate. Like Rice, I think, is one of your highest paid players.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, and now you're setting a precedent there because new top players are going to come in and go, well, he's on that. They're not going to come in for no 120, 140 if Rice and Saka, these two young kids, are on this, you know.
Lawless, you still dreaming he doesn't sign for Arsenal? What's going on?
I'm just saying, if there's that 1% chance it don't happen, then it would be hilarious. It'd be hilarious. It would also be hilarious. Imagine he goes to Arsenal, he never wins a trophy. His only trophy he wins in his career is at West Ham. Like, how much of a dickhead would he feel like? Honestly,
you want that to happen?
Of course, I want that.
If Arsenal had a chance to win the Premier League next season and Declan Rice is one of the main guys, obviously you'd want him to win it.
Hell no. Hell fucking no. No. Why? Why?
Look, are you sick of the league being a farmers league?
Where is this strong rivalry coming from?
No, do you know what? Well, no, like listen, I'm from East London. I don't like other London clubs. But this farmers,
I've never had my friend's a West Ham supporter. He gives it to me, but I've never really had an issue with West Ham. Like,
me neither.
I just don't want you to win shit. Like, you know what I mean? For all this, and you give it all, London's red. We have to hear that. I'm from London. I don't want to hear London's red. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, like, to answer your question, this whole thing about, do we want this to be a farmers league? And I said this like to an Arsenal fan who commented in our live chat. Arsenal fans don't give a shit about it being a farmers league as long as they're the ones winning it every season. Like, that's all they care about. Because if Arsenal fans cared about the competitiveness of the league, they wouldn't want to be signing Declan Rice's and Caicedo's. They'd want them to stay at their club. So the league is strong.
I disagree. I strongly disagree. Like, I hate Man United, but if I'm winning the Premier League, I want Man United to challenge.
Yeah, but you did challenge last season, and Man City won, so you can challenge every season. I just don't want you to win it.
But of course. But what I'm saying is, if we miss out on the players like Rice and Man City, and they get Guardiola as well from Leipzig, shush. We might as well, the start of the season, the first game, all top 6 teams might as well just gather and give Man City
is your son a Man United fan? What's going on?
Just give them a guard of honor.
So wait, you say you would rather Man United win it next season than Man City?
No, I'm saying if there's a season where Arsenal's winning the title, I want to be challenged. I don't want to just walk it. You get it? I don't want to walk it. I want teams to challenge us.
Yeah, but
I don't care, bro. I want to walk it.
I don't want to walk it. I don't want to walk it.
I want to dominate. I don't care if we walk it or if we win it by.
Listen, at the end of the day, me being an Arsenal fan, I've all come from watching us come up against the likes of a strong Man United team, Wenger coming in and doing the unprecedented and stopping Fergie. Like, I enjoy that underdog feeling. You know what I mean?
It was like a farmers league because it was just the same 2 teams. Then it was the same 2 teams competing every other season.
It definitely was. It definitely was. It definitely was. But that's what I'm saying. This season is going to be.
You weren't complaining, though.
But how can we complain? We was the underdog.
I'm gonna wrap up this show quickly. Let me just show some of the people, some of the breaking news. So, of course, we already know about the Timber news. The deal was broken a couple of days ago. That there's a verbal agreement between the 2 clubs, and it's for around 42 million. That was yesterday. So, at this moment in time, his medical is set to be undergone apparently by Chris Wheatley. That's what he's reporting. And then you got Fabrizio, still hasn't said the here you go, but that deal is ongoing. Reece Nelson has officially put pen to paper for his new contract, and it should be confirmed by the club very soon. We're waiting on that still. The Declan Rice stuff, As I've already said, there's more stuff on Timber here. We're just waiting on more information. I've already given you guys the information on Eastern Noir. Xhaka, the price has gone up, bro, from 13 million pounds to now 20 million. That's a good deal for us. 20 million right there. That pays for 20% of Declan Rice right there. And then not even. And then, of course, officially will be done after the 1st of July, as Ajax want this money for the next fiscal year. We've already spoken about Pepe. We spoke about that. Pablo Mari is officially leaving the club for £6 million to Italy. Big up to Pablo Mari. Hope he does well. Declan Rice will be making his move finalized in the next coming days. He will be wearing the 41 shirt, as reported by many different journalists. And yeah, that's it. The deal should be done by Monday, as reported by West Ham. Is this a West Ham guy?
Yeah. I have no idea who that guy is. I've never seen him before.
He works for the Sun. He's a West Ham reporter.
He follows more than follows him, so I don't know how good he is.
There you go. Okay, so there we go. That's a little update on everything today, guys. And yeah, do you have anything else to say, Kesh, before we go? Because I know you had a question.
That's it.
Dan, do you have any questions before we go?
No questions, man. But I'm just saying that 1%, I will be there. And if you don't win anything next season, no major trophies, I will be there.
Okay, so when he comes to London Stadium and he scores a goal, he's gonna have respect and not celebrate. But if you see him doing well for Arsenal, are you gonna be cheering him on?
Hell no. No. If he international career, he can do it all. Yeah, listen, I don't care. Like, do what you want to do. If you want to win it for England, win it for England.
Oh, he's an op now.
He's an op. Yeah, he's an op. Yeah, he is. I don't like him. Listen, it's not about when people say I'm trying to force rivalry. I've never said, oh, we're these rivals. You don't have to be rivals with someone.
You don't like him anymore.
Like the team.
Your captain delivered you a trophy in.
No.
He left your club a legend.
God knows when.
He didn't deliver it. The team delivered it. He happened to be wearing a bit of fabric. He had a bit of fabric around his arm. Like
no. This is what we're not gonna do, because if you look at the likes of Man City, yeah, in their biggest season, their captain was Gundogan, yeah, that led them to a treble.
And what did he do? He banged in the goal, the important goal. Where was Rice? Rice wasn't even like wasn't even.
But where was
Gundogan? Banged in the important goal versus Fiorentina.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he scored a goal. Ben Rama scored the first goal, and then Bowen scored the winner.
No, first Fiorentina, no?
Yeah, no, that's the final. Fiorentina.
No, I mean the semi-final. The semi-final. Who was it against?
Alkmaar, and Fornal scored in that one.
Declan Rice scored the second goal to bury the game.
No. Fornal scored the last goal. So look, at the end of the day,
you're underestimating like his team talks. Like those things are real. It's real. You can't underestimate that.
You're gonna miss Declan Rice if you don't replace him properly.
Do you think you win the conference if for instance Souček was your leader?
Yeah, I think whoever's wearing that armband, we still win it. And I said that. You could put that shit on anyone. Put that on any player, that armband, we still win that trophy. We still win it.
I disagree, man.
Because he has this fabric, right?
No, it's not. But you're looking.
But you're doing exactly what Rance was doing. He's now joined Arsenal, and you're underrating him.
The thing is, you're looking at it too simplistic. Forget the armband. Forget the armband.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, yeah, how he leads that group of men is very important. It's very important. You can't downplay it. I'm telling you, as a captain, people underestimate what your captain do for you. Like I've seen the likes of Granit Xhaka be our captain. I've seen other people be our captain who I don't think are much leaders as people make them out to be.
Granit Xhaka is a leader,
we still win it.
But he's like a irrational guy sometimes.
Like I can't see anything tangible. Yeah, it's a factor, but to say like, oh, he won it for us, it's bullshit.
No, he didn't win it for you, but I think when you're the captain of a winning team, I just don't think he can downplay it.
And this is the funny thing is we experienced this drop off because we missed Noble's leadership in the changing room. He struggled for a while trying to fill those boots in terms of leadership, and that was the big thing of where we suffered, and that's why we had to bring Noble back into the fold, and he had to be in and around the club because players looked up to him. They couldn't really look up to a 24-year-old boy, you know. So there's that. So listen, but at the end of the day, like I don't hate him. I don't have bad feelings to him, but obviously I don't want to win. I don't want him to win anything in an Arsenal shirt. I want him to be, and the thing is, he said like nothing will top that feeling of him winning something at West Ham. So whatever he wins at Arsenal, it won't feel as special to him. That's his first trophy. He won it with the club that made him. And this is what I said on the show. Let's not forget that. Like, we can't sit here and be grateful. Oh, Rice played for us. We made him who he was. He'd still be a centre-back journeyman trying to find a club after Chelsea sacked him off, yeah? So let's remember
He's one of your own. He's one of your own.
We made him. We made him. I know he grew up a Chelsea fan, but we brought him through. We developed him. We made him a player.
Aren't you happy he's going to a club that's actually going to further his development rather than a club where he's going to sit on the bench?
No, because he would, if he went to Man City, right, he would have been a better player than he will be at Arsenal. And by that I mean Pep Guardiola has a proven track record of taking players to a whole nother level. Nathan Ake is a big example of that. John Stones is a big example of that. He takes these players, and yeah, they maybe have that first season where they're not in the squad, in the first team every week. By the next season after that, Rice would have been a big
I agree with that. But then again, listen, when City wins what they win, I think a majority of the Premier League fan base don't care. I generally don't think they care. Like, oh, your City won. Okay, well done. I think Rice is looking at it and thinking, Arsenal's been shit for over God knows when. Can I go there and be that push that changed the story of this club? And I think that's the way he looks at it. If he wins that,
gamble.
It's a definite gamble, but I don't think it's that much of a gamble. I think it's only a gamble that on the Arteta you might not win. But I think another manager comes in. I think a manager's got a good enough squad that they could work with. I don't think Arsenal's going
it's what that manager is. You have to get that appointment right.
I feel like we're gonna go in circles. Big up everyone in the comment section. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Dan, you have yourself a wonderful Saturday. Kesh, you have yourself a wonderful Saturday. And everyone in the comment section, you guys have yourselves a wonderful Saturday. We're out of here, people. Have a good one. And peace.
Here we go.